Emmanuel Macron erupted in an explosive rant aimed at Anglo Saxons for allegedly blocking the distribution of coronavirus vaccines. In a brutal swipe aimed at the United Kingdom and the United States, Emmanuel Macron accused the two powers of not sharing vaccines during the pandemic. The French president insisted members of the European Union remained the most generous around the world when it came to sharing the vaccine. Speaking to reporters upon his arrival in Porto, Portugal for a key summit of European Union leaders, Mr. Macron said, "Today, the Anglo Saxons block many of these ingredients and vaccines. Today, 100% of the vaccines produced in the United States are for the American market." He added, "In Europe, of around 110 million produced, we have exported 45 million and kept 65 million. We are the most generous in the world today among the most developed countries." Mr. Macron insisted the question of whether there should be a waiver on COVID-19 vaccines is not the most critical issue right now, it is getting doses distributed across the world. He continued, "What is the current issue? It is not really about intellectual property. Can you give intellectual property to laboratories that do not know how to produce and will not produce tomorrow? The main issue for solidarity is the distribution of doses." Mr. Macron previously supported proposals from the European Commission to blockade the distribution of jabs as the bloc struggled to successfully roll out the vaccine. France has been suffering severe setbacks with the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines as high levels of skepticism rage across the country. The French president was forced to impose a new lockdown in March because of the rocketing level of new coronavirus infections in Paris and other key regions. But in recent weeks, the number of patients with COVID-19 in French hospitals was reported to have dropped by 741 to 27,686 in the sharpest one-day drop since the end of November. Pressure on emergency wards also eased, with the number of COVID-19 patients in intensive care down by 102 to 5,402 from a year high of 6,001 less than 2 weeks ago. France also reported 244 new COVID-19 deaths in hospitals, virtually unchanged from Tuesday's 243, taking the cumulative toll to 105,631. Health Ministry data showed the number of new positive cases rose by 26,000 for a total of 5.71 million, an increase of 2.52% compared to a week ago and the lowest week-on-week increase since late July 2020. Late March to mid-April, week-on-week increases were as high as 5% to 6%.